Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Megan. You can call me Meg if you want to. And today's video is going to be another book on haul. Now, I kind of somewhat recently did a book on haul where I went through like my YA fantasy, YA contemporary shelves, my romance shelves, and unhauled a bunch of those books, which are listed on my Pango bookstore, which will be linked down below if you want to buy any of those. But today's video, I kind of want to look over all of my shelves, which are in my basement, so we'll be going down there as soon as we wrap this up, and just kind of looking at everything that I have in my collection and seeing which ones I actually want to read and being super intentional with what books I keep, because it's just overwhelming at this point having so many books in my house and not knowing what I want to read next. So with that, let's head downstairs and start unhauling some books. So here's a little overview of the shelves right now. This shelf is middle grade, and then here we have middle grade up top, and then classics, and then these two are specifically Disney, and then we have like adult fantasy, historical fiction, and then adult romance contemporary. This is all YA, more YA, and then over there is all of the warrior books, because I used to love those as a kid. And then we come over here on this side, well, this has like books from my childhood, picture books, chapter books, stuff like that. And then over there we have holiday books, poetry, and then a bunch of nonfiction. So as you can see, we have a lot of books in this household. There's even two more shelves on another wall that I'm not even going to go through right now, which has a bunch of really old books of my mom's. And then there's two more bookshelves in my dad's office. So there's a lot. This has been collected over many, many years. I am not just a reader. My mom was also a huge reader in my family. So a lot of these books were hers. And then I inherited a lot of books from my Nana when she passed, because she was a huge reader as well, and she had a huge wall full of books in her house. So yeah, that's how I acquired this many. I definitely do not need this many books. Last time I counted, I think it was over 1,000. So yeah, some of these can definitely be appreciated and go to better homes. All right, I'm actually gonna start on the like poetry and nonfiction shelf, because these are genres that I don't gravitate towards. So right away, I think this one, Life is for a Long Time. This I know was my Nana's. And then we have two copies of Finding Gobi. I know we got these copies when the author was doing a visit at a local bookstore. Okay, so this one actually has my name in it, so I'm going to keep this. But then this one just has the author's signature, so I'm going to give that away. I'm going to get rid of Dewey, which I read a long time ago. Get rid of this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. Then, you know, I used to love this book. I used to like do the little prompts when I was younger, but I think it's time to get rid of this. Right, down here, there's a whole bunch of my One Direction books, so I'm keeping those. Some of my Jonas Brother ones. These two I definitely know I'm going to be keeping. I just got them for Christmas. We had Secretariat on the shelf. I personally wouldn't read it, but I know my dad really likes the story of Secretariat, so I'll see if he wants that in his own personal library. Let's see what else. I feel like we're doing good with these. Let's see. I feel like I should read these at one point, but I probably won't. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and Adulting, How to Become a Grown-Up. I'm going to keep these for now, because I think they would have good advice that I probably need. So, a lot of books on mythology. Oh, I want to read this. Okay, we're going to keep that. Neil Gaiman's book on Norse mythology. I'm probably not ever going to read that, honestly. Oh no. Oh god. Okay. These are all all like folk tales and books on mythology. As much as I love reading retellings of Greek mythology, I'm never gonna touch these. Okay, she's looking good. The books have fallen over a little bit. There we go. Stay, stay, stay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Up here we have a bunch of books on Disney, which I don't think I'll get rid of any of those. Okay. Poetry. Here's the thing. I'm not into poetry at all. So, like, do I just get rid of all of them? Or, like, what are these? Like, okay. Christmas Cupcake Murder. I'm not into murder mysteries. What is this one? Like, these books definitely scream that my mom bought them. Yeah, those can go. Okay, these are all the poetry books I'm getting rid of. We had a bunch of Robert Frost books. I kept one, but the others I'm gonna get rid of, and I'm pretty sure these were all my Nana's. But she was a school teacher, so that makes sense. So this is what the poetry, like, holiday nonfiction shelf looks like now. I think I made a good dent in it. Got rid of a lot of holiday books. Don't know how we acquired so many. And this is what the giveaway pile looks like. I'm gonna quickly go through like my childhood section with the picture books and chapter books and stuff. I don't think there's a lot of them that I'm gonna get rid of because I do love them. Like, already down there, I know that's all the High School Musical books. I love the Disney Fairy, stuff like that. These, they're Fairy Realm books. I'm not getting rid of those. They're not in print anymore, and I really love those. So, yeah. Don't know how this ended up on the childhood bookshelf, but it's getting a new home. These two, these are not like childhood books, so I'm not sure what they're doing there. Okay, this book I think I'm gonna get rid of, but look, it's about the Berenstain Bears. Berenstain, and then here are my Berenstain Bear books right here. A-I-N, A-I-N, A-I-N. I don't think any of our books there have E-I-N. So I don't know where that, like, a Mandela effect happened, because I always remembered it as Berenstain. So who had Berenstain books? I want to know. Here is what the childhood bookshelf looks like. Again, I wasn't planning on getting rid of a lot of these, but I did get rid of some of the books that I don't remember reading as a kid. I'm gonna see if I can donate these to the preschool in my town, or like one of the after school programs, instead of just giving it to like Goodwill or something. Now here comes the hard part with these like main shelves that we have. Because middle grade, I think I can knock out pretty well. I'm probably gonna get rid of a lot of them. But then like fantasy and contemporary and stuff like that, like everything down there, I don't think I'm gonna touch at all. Maybe some of the mystery novels that are over there, but like, okay, starting with middle grade, I'm gonna get rid of these three so far: The Doll Who Knew the Future, Chasing Redbird, and The Dark Hills Divide. That's three. Gonna keep this, get rid of that. Oh, there's a cat toy at my feet. This I'm getting rid of. I read this at one point in Secondhand Charm. I think I remember enjoying it when I read it. Do I remember what it's about? Nope. What else? Getting rid of The Owl Keeper. Getting rid of The Train to Impossible Places. I think I'm going to keep this. The Girl Who Drank the Moon. That sounds interesting. I'll keep that. Making some progress. I don't know This series I know my aunt likes, so if I don't plan on keeping that, I'll get that to her. The Copernicus series, I'm not sure yet. Like 1, 2, 3. I don't know what I'm doing with those 3 series yet. This is a sequel. And I don't think we even have the first one. That's going. That's going. I've heard good things about One and Only Ivan, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to keep this. I don't know what I'm doing with those series yet. Rogue Wave I'm keeping because I actually started that series. Then getting rid of this. This. Okay. Doing pretty good. Look at all that space. Alright, let's see what else I can do when we're not filming. Because if I keep filming every single book I go through, this is going to be such a long video, and I know you don't want that. So we have a fully empty shelf. Proud of myself. There's a lot of middle grade books in here. I have been reading the backs of books, and like up here, like from here down are books I'm keeping. Again, I don't know what I'm doing with these series yet. And then these I still have to go through. Same with these, although down here there's a bunch of like fairy tale retellings and stuff like that, so I think I'm gonna keep some of those. And then up here is like the continuation of them. The Mother-Daughter Book Club series, I know I am keeping. I read these with my mom up until Pies and Prejudice because I told her that a character dies in this one and she didn't want to read about that character dying. So she never got past that, whereas I finished up to this one, and that's where originally Heather Vogel Frederick ended the series. But then a couple years ago for Christmas, my mom got me this and she expanded the series by 1 book, so I've yet to read this, but I want to like reread the series again. These I'm keeping. These were also written by Heather Vogel Frederick, so I think I'm going to keep those too. I'm not sure about these yet. This I think I'm keeping. And then these are the Princess Diaries books, so I think I'm going to keep that as well. But yeah. Okay, I stopped to have lunch because I was starving and I didn't realize like this was going to take so long, which I should have known better. But we have another free shelf on the middle grade shelf. Now we have 2, and I realized going through all the middle grade books, most of them my mom bought, and like I'm just not interested in them. Of the like books that I have, I'm more likely to gravitate towards this section with the adult YA, all of that, than go towards a middle grade book. So those can find better homes. We have a 3rd shelf. Oh my god. These will eventually be moved onto this shelf, and then whatever other middle grade books, because my classics start here with Little Women. This is what the table looks like right now. It's a bit overwhelming, and I'm kind of scared about the weight of all the books on there, but I guess I could start putting them on the desk, but yeah. Okay guys, I've officially gone through all of the middle grade books. Honestly should have expected this, that I'm getting rid of most of them. So now we have another free shelf, and then this one's like halfway full. Just a note, I will just be declaring them in this video. I'll have a whole new bookshelf reorganization, and then following probably another tour of my bookshelves after all of that is done. Okay, and then of the classics and the fairy tales and the Disney books, this is the only one I am getting rid of. I'm pretty positive that like I went through these last time I did an unhaul, and I definitely want to read all of them at one point. And just quickly, the goal for this unhaul is that I can expand my LGBTQ shelf because she is packed to the brim right now, and then also my romance shelves. I would love if I could have like some pretty shelves that the books aren't just like lined up one next to each other, but I could also like turn some like special editions facing outwards so we can see that. I kind of really want a Christina Lauren shelf if that's possible, but who knows, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, from my fairy tale retelling shelf, I'm getting rid of Along the River, which is a Chinese retelling of Cinderella, out of Abaton, which is Pinocchio retelling Cloaked, which I think is Princess and the Frog, and then these two very old mass market paperbacks. One is, I think, Sleeping Beauty, and then the other is Beauty and the Beast. Okay, we're starting fantasy books now. These two I am getting rid of: Dreamlands by Robert L. Anderson and Legends of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I don't know. Let's see. This, getting rid of Prophecy of Stones. These stacks are getting a little precarious. These two I think I'm getting rid of: Shadow Moon and Shadow Dawn by George Lucas and Chris Claremont. Gonna keep that. House of Salt and Sorrows. What is this? No Country for Old Gnomes. Alright, also unhauling The Prince of Wales by R.L. Fisher and A Tale of Two Worlds by Mikhail Faber. More fantasy books that I'm getting rid of. I'm getting rid of The Future Falls and The Second Summoning by Tanya Huff. Guys, this one has a Borders sticker on it. Borders. If you know Borders, oh my god. Great bookstore. I miss it so much. Unfortunately closed during the recession. And then also getting rid of Juniper by Monica Furlong, and then Wise Child by Monica Furlong as well. What We Harvest by Anne Freystadt, and On the Night of the Seventh Moon by Victoria Holt. A lot of these I think are my mom's or were my nana's, because the ones I got are still on the shelf. Alright, and we have even more fantasy. So this is Pegasus, the Flame of Olympus by Kate O'Hearn. It sounded interesting, but it's also part of a series, and I really don't need to be starting any more series. So, and like, it's not so interesting to me that I want to read it. So that's going. Labyrinth by Kate Moss. Fluke, or I Know Why the Winged Whale Sings by Christopher Moore. The Forgotten Beasts of Eld by Patricia A. McKilp. The Hero and the Crown by Robin McKinley. The Moor Child by Eloise McGraw. The Witcher, The Last Wish. I'll see if my cousin wants this because I think he likes The Witcher, but I have not watched the TV show or played the video game, so I don't need it. The Two Princesses of Bamere by Gail Clarkson Levine. And then the Kaladi Collection, books 1 through 3 by Kenneth Lee. This book is way too intimidating, although I know it's 3. Just no way. No way. The Secret, A Treasure Hunt, by, who is this? Kelly, man, this is a lot of people. I don't know. And then Hawk First Came Maximum Ride by James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet. Again, like, my biggest genres are going to be YA, in general, YA contemporary, YA romance, and, like, adult romance. Those are my biggest genres. So as we get into the shelves further this way, there's going to be less unhauling there, and more just, I want room for these books to be displayed nicely. Getting rid of the Immortal series by Tamora Pierce, and also the Lioness Quartet by the same person, Tamora Pierce. Getting rid of The Dollmaker of Krakow by R.M. Romero. The Silver Door and the Golden Door by Emily Rada, and Fever Crumb by Philip Reeve. Alright, and then finally for the adult fantasy, we have what I'm getting rid of, The Mislaid Magician, or 10 Years After, by Patricia C. Red and Caroline Stevener. I don't know. South of the Buttonwood Tree by Heather Weber. Changing Fate by Elizabeth Waters. Wingbound by Heather Trim. Tales from the Perilous Realm by J.R.R. Tolkien, and with illustrations by Alan Lee. Under the Hat by lots of authors, notably Holly Black, Neil Gaiman, who else? Those are the only two names I know. I don't know, I think this is an anthology of sorts. White Magic by Lori Faria Stolars, and the Lost Stories collection by Michael Scott. No. See, this is why it's good to declutter, because half of these I'm like, I have no idea what this is about. I don't remember buying them. Alright, and this is what the fancy shelf looks like now. Those are my, like, vintage, Chronicles of Narnia books that I got from a secondhand bookstore, which I love. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves to do, guys. I know not all of these are going to do well on Pango Books, so I think I might try and, like, whatever I don't give to like daycare centers and stuff, or donate to Goodwill, I'm gonna see if thrift books will take them, because I saw they will buy back your books, so it would be nice to, like, get some of this money back. And unfortunately for me, I don't live close to a half-price bookstore, or else I would definitely try that as well. Now these are adult historical fiction. Right away I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. Willa Cather. And then, what else? I don't remember what this one's about. Oh, I bought that. Yeah. Okay, and then after looking on the backs of some of the ones that I didn't remember, I'm only gonna get rid of that one from that shelf. This one. And this one, I think, yeah, this one, the Dear America books. Gonna get rid of a collection of beauties. I definitely got this at a library sale. I'm gonna get rid of the Essex Serpent. Although, oh my god. I guess Tom Hiddleston was in the adaptation of this on Apple TV Plus. But I don't have Apple TV Plus, so goodbye. And gonna get rid of Girl of the Limberlost. And I think that's it for the shelf. Now, here comes the hard part. If you couldn't tell, we have moved on to the desk with all of these book stacks. We're getting into my adult romance, so there's probably not going to be a lot to get rid of there, but I do know we have all of my mom's, like, mass market paperback, like, Regency romances that I will never read, so those are going, definitely. But, like, all this stuff down here, like, I'd see Christina Lauren down there. She's not going anywhere. Emily Henry's not going anywhere. Like, yeah. We got rid of way more than I expected to from the first, like, shelf of adult fiction. So we got rid of Lost on Briar Island by Joanne Hyard. The Astonishing Thing by Sandy Ward. Apparently, I didn't realize I had them, so maybe my mom bought them, but we have a whole subgenre of books I'm getting rid of that they're told from the perspective of an animal, and this is one of them. I don't know, those kind of books just turn me off. I'd rather read from the perspective of a human, which I guess is kind of ironic, because when I was little and getting into reading, Warriors ate that up. I don't know. But I guess like for adult books, I need a human perspective. Also, I find ones that are told from the perspective of an animal, like with dealing with adult life and stuff, to be super depressing usually. Anyways, I'm getting rid of Lily and the Octopus by Stephen Rowley. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. A Stranger's Wish, which apparently is a part of the Amish Farm trilogy. I don't know why I have this. Still Life with Breadcrumbs by Anna Quindlen. This, I know, was one of those blind date with a books that some Barnes & Nobles do. So obviously that didn't work out for me. The Cape Doctor by E.J. Levy. Love Shadow by Ada Leverson. And The Mermaid The Mermaid Chair by Sue Monk Kidd. And from the romance shelf, we got rid of 4 books. 1, Men Are Frogs, Fairy Godmothers Incorporated by Sarah Ann DeWild. The Carousel by Richard Paul Evans. Hidden Treasures by Michelle Adams. And nope, that's the author. I hate these old covers sometimes. Into Deep, an R. Crane Society novel by Jane Ann Krentz. This is book 1 of the Looking Glass trilogy. Now guys, I know for a fact I did not buy this, and my mom did not buy this. My Nana bought this. So my Nana was getting her spicy book read on. Good for her. Because we have a Fabio on the front. Oh, I do say all you want about cartoon covers and how kids too young are reading spicy romance novels, but I do like cartoon covers way better than romance novels with Fabio on the front with his shirt undone. Okay, and then this is my second adult romance shelf, and here are all of my mom's mass market paperback Regency romance books, so we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of all of them. I forgot I had double stacked those on the shelves, but there was 30 of those there. And I looked, only one of them has Julia Quinn as the author, but it's 3 different authors. So none of them are Bridgerton books. But I do know my mom had a Bridgerton book on our Kindle app. So that was interesting finding that, because I was like, I didn't know you read that kind of stuff, Mom. Okay, we are on to the YA shelves now. I'm not touching anything on my LGBTQ plus shelf. I love all the books there. There's only some of them I haven't read yet. These are all Marvel books. The only one I'm gonna pull from that shelf is this one. And then from down here, I don't think there's any of these I want to pull. But I will say... Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. I did not enjoy this enough to keep it. It was cute, but I'm never going to read it again, so that can go. And I don't think I showed you what the shelves look like now, so here is the YA shelf kind of, with romance on top and then LGBTQ+. And then this is the adult romance, adult contemporary shelf. And now on to more YA contemporary. Let's see, up here, I don't think there's any. I want to get rid of this one. Oh, I can get rid of You Are Here by Jennifer E. Smith. I read it, it was only okay. Same with Kiss Me in New York. I liked it, but I don't think I'll read that again. And then we have YA fantasy. I'm not really touching any of these. Dystopians down there. Up here, these are all of my mom's Andre Norton books. That was her favorite author. I don't think I really want to go through that right now. Here are all of my Avatar books and the Royal Diaries. If you read those, you're cool. Not getting rid of any of those. These I'm gonna get rid of, except for the Richard Castle one. These are all mystery novels, and I don't really read that. And then we have Warriors. So I think once I do these, we're done. This is the aftermath of the gigantic book unhaul. But But that is it for this video, guys. I'll put it right here how many books I ended up unhauling. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Again, the books that I'm going to try and sell will be listed on my Pango Books, which is in the link down below. Other than that, I will be trying to donate them, sell back to thrift books, anything like that. I think my dad told me he found a company that will come to your house and take the books from you. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful morning, noon, night, or day, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!